Hi everyone, welcome to episode 69 of the XS Noize Podcast. I'm Mark Millar, thanks for listening. In this episode, I talked to Conrad Ellis from the Luka State. If you missed the previous episode, I spoke to Zach Skinner from the Skinner Brothers about the band's new album, Soul Boy 2. So check it out, and if you like the podcast, please subscribe and share with your friends. If you want up-to-date music news, album reviews and interviews, then check out our main website at xsnoize.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Search for the tag at XS Noize Music. Having just returned with the supercharged new single Oxygen Thief, the Luka State now take another step towards a huge year with a major UK and European headline tour. In this interview, the Luka State frontman Conrad Ellis talks to me about their debut album Fall In, Fall Out, their new single Oxygen Thief, upcoming shows and much more. So sit back, relax and enjoy the XS Noize Podcast with Conrad Ellis from the Luka State. So hi Conrad, welcome to the XS Noize Podcast.
Hi Mark, you alright? Thank you for having me.
So going back, when did you discover your love of music?
From an early age really. I'm from quite a musical family. I'm from a big family. And every Sunday we used to go around my nan's house for Sunday dinner. And you're talking, there'd be, in a very small little council house, there'd be about 20 of us to about 22 of us. And there was that many of us. The blokes used to stand up in the kitchen and eat, and the women would all sit in the living room and sit down and eat. And basically there was always music playing when we were sat down. So from an early age, there was always the Beatles or Elvis, or my granddad was a lover of Dire Straits. I'm talking being very young here, where I probably wasn't aware of what music was then, but it was just always around me. So then growing up, I had a cousin who played in bands, and just seeing what he did and being influenced by that and finding a love of music. And, you know, when you're a music lover yourself, you like to kind of push your own music onto other people, don't you, sometimes? Check this out. And It was through my cousin and my uncle, actually, who was a punk back in the day, showing me all the 70s punk bands like The Clash and The Jam. And then my cousin showing me 90s stuff and the Beatles and all that kind of thing, that I kind of just became obsessed with it when I was around, well, I was obsessed from the age of about 11, but I started playing the guitar when I was about 8 or 9. And it just turned into a love affair that's never stopped, really, I suppose.
The band, the Luka State, first met in your local youth club in Winsford in Cheshire when you were 12 years old. What was it like growing up in Winsford?
It's a small working class town in the northwest. We're in between Liverpool and Manchester. And there's not much to do, to be honest. And it's kind of partly the reason of why I picked up a guitar and started a band when I was 11, 12 years old, because there's nothing to do here and people do things out of sheer boredom. I mean, there's the famous saying, you know, people are either kicking a football or picking an instrument up. Which I did both at one point, but then I found out that I found solace in music, and music was the way forward for me. And you just found that growing up, either people got in trouble through crime or played football or played music. And it was an outlet for me and Sam when we first met, and something for us to bond over, because there was nothing to do here. But because there's nothing to do here, and the town is kind of, I wouldn't say, it's just it can be a bleak place at times, but it's also where I'm from and it's home and I love it. But because of that boredom and that sheer boredom, it grew a really, really strong music scene from kids starting bands. And then as we were teenagers, the lads who were in bands who were older than us, who were 18, 19, 20, 21, they were playing at our local music venue. And we were watching them going, oh, we can do this. We can start a band. We can play. Let's go out of town and do a gig in Manchester when we were like 14. And we did it, you know, and we started doing gigs all over the place. And it was a very exciting time to be a teenager and thinking we could achieve like such things like, you know, picking a guitar up and start a band and writing songs and trying to be better than the next bunch of lads down the road, and having your own practice room and all that kind of thing. So it was quite exciting growing up here and quite creative, really, I suppose. That's the best way I can describe it.
And was it right that your first local show was opening for Bruce Foxton's From the Jam?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
What was that like?
Well, I'm a huge Jam fan. When I was a teenager, I found my music was coming from the punk era and the mod era and that kind of thing merged together. I was into the Jam and the Who and the Small Faces and the Sex Pistols when I was around 13, 14. And we were playing in our band, and we were kind of like a punk band then, and our local music venue hosted Bruce Foxton from the Jam, and we ended up supporting them. And obviously for a 14-year-old, that was an amazing thing, 14, 15, playing with one of your idols. He actually signed Sam's bass, right? Sam got a Rickenbacker. He got a Rickenbacker, and honestly, like, it took him ages to get this Rickenbacker. Like, it took, obviously, like, his mum and dad must have, like, saved up so much for it. He got this Rickenbacker, and he ended up getting Bruce Foxton to write all over it on the scratch plate. And I remember his mum going mad that she wrote all over this expensive Rickenbacker. And then he kept it, right? He kept the same scratch plate on it. And we played loads of gigs over that year. And he rubbed the signature off of his arm. He didn't even have it. Yeah, man, that was cool.
When the band started, did your sound evolve naturally, or did you try and push it in a deliberate direction?
I mean, when you're that young, I don't think you know really where you're going. I think you just know what you're doing. I think you're not really conscious of what sound you're heading for. I think very evidently when we were younger, me and Sam were in a band called The Targets, and we were a punk band. We kind of came from that punk mod influence, and that was kind of where we were at. And just being an angry young teenager, I think even back then I was writing about the social commentary that surrounds us and being fed up with. I think back then you're writing about being fed up in school and girls and all that kind of thing. But I don't think there's a sense of direction when you're that young. I think you're too young to understand that because you're so immersed in what you're doing, and being young and being creative is very special. You know what I mean? You're very blessed to be creative that young. So I think, I don't know, I don't think the direction is really a thing, but I think we were definitely conscious of what music we were making, i.e. punk music. I think that's why there's still a lot of punk elements in our music now, It's carried through our sound throughout life, I guess.
Can you remember the first song you wrote as a band and you thought, right, this is a really good song?
Yeah, I can. It's on an EP as well, and I can even tell you the lyrics, man.
Go ahead.
No lyrics. I'll wait here, so sorry. Just punish me for my sins. Fuck the system. School is boring. Education, what a waste of time. See, I was still bored and angry then, and I was only 14. This is quite worrying. I've not changed. I'm still an angry young man.
Last year, the band released your debut album, Fall Out, 8 years after getting together. In the meantime, you released a load of singles and EPs. So what took so long to put the album out?
I just think we weren't ready, really, to be honest. I think we were at a point in our musical career where we were still cutting our teeth, and we were still trying to gig as much as we could and get around the country, and even as far as just putting the equipment in the van and just heading off to Europe and just spending weeks on end in Germany and France and playing as many gigs as we could in England, across Europe, Ireland, Scotland. And I just don't think we were ready. And we'd recorded one record already that just, we didn't feel it was good enough. And that process of getting to the point where you feel like, right, okay, we're ready now to take that step to make the actual record, took a long time, to be honest. And maybe in hindsight, we should have just took the plunge and done it before that. But there is a very genuine feeling of like we weren't ready at that moment in time, and that's why it took so long. And plus, as a songwriter, I think it's good to be harsh on yourself. You've never wrote your best song yet, have you? You know, you're always chasing your tail. And I think with the idea of trying to get the experience behind us and playing at so many gigs to so many people and writing constantly, I think we were just constantly chasing the best thing we could possibly do. And then when we had that, we just wanted to release it on the right platform, hence releasing it on BMG with a major label. But then obviously COVID had other ideas for that. So that's a bit of a sad ending to that story, I guess. But yeah, I think we were definitely not ready prior to releasing that record.
And how did it feel getting the deal with BMG?
It was amazing, man. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. It's a dream come true, you know, when you're a kid and you're starting a band, you do want to reach as many people as possible. I mean, I'm not shy in saying that, you know, I'm not shy in saying I want to be reaching as many fans as possible, and our band being everywhere and anywhere and everywhere, you know, not shy to say that. So we always thought a platform might be the best idea for us. So signing to BMG was an amazing achievement. But I mean, also it's bittersweet because we signed the deal, we had the record in the bag. We were so excited about what was to come with a major deal. But then obviously the pandemic hit and everything changed, you know. So you're meant to have this amazing album campaign and go and tour your debut record and travel the world, and your record's going to be everywhere, you know. And it just never got the campaign it deserved because of COVID. That's no part of the label. That's not the label's fault. You know, we just couldn't go out and tour it, which obviously touring equals fans, you know, and it's just one of those things, and it really pushed us back, you know. So it's kind of a bittersweet feeling for us because we feel like there's so much unfinished business on that debut record. But that's just the way it is, man, you know, and hindsight's a beautiful thing looking back, you know. If we could have held it off for another year, but then this is still COVID's an ongoing thing now, so we had to take the plunge. Looking back at it, we had to do it, you know.
Definitely, but you haven't sat back. You recently released a brand new single, the aggressive melodic new single, Oxygen Thief. You know, it's a complete assault of the senses and the first new Luka State song since releasing your debut album. So what can you tell me about the genesis of that song?
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. They're very kind words, man. It was born during lockdown. One thing that did come out of lockdown and the pandemic was a real sense of creativity with us. When we got the deal, we turned our practice room into a studio. So during lockdown, that was our place of work because we had the record deal. We were employed in that studio, so we were able to get together and write. And we basically locked ourselves in that room for days on end. You know, 9 o'clock till 6 o'clock, and just wrote music and just played together. And it made us better musicians. And me being sat at home, it made me a better songwriter. And that song just come out of something personal I was going through, a personal trauma that I was experiencing myself, that I was able to channel through the writing process of a more honest writing process. And also the process, which was very angry because we were all had so much pent up anger that this was going on. And we felt like, you know, obviously we couldn't tour the record, and we wanted to kind of go in a different direction as well with the new music that we were going to release next after the album. So it was great just to get in there and bring something out that has so much passion, anger, and energy, really. And
you can also see that in the video. You know, it's an energetic, intense live performance. Where was that filmed?
It was when we finally did get to tour. We played a gig at the Bread Shed in Manchester. We sold out, which was a very nice feeling, you know. When you finally get to do the tour and you start selling out venues, I kind of feel like, oh, the bricks lifted off your chest, and it's a relief. So yeah, man, it was a full house in the Bread Shed. We got some cameras there. We just filmed the whole thing. And yeah, you can really feel the energy of that video. You can really feel the energy of the crowd. We actually streamed the full thing on YouTube recently, the full gig. But yeah, it was a great gig, man. And we just thought the energy of that show really married with the song well.
With not much money available from physical musical sales these days, it's harder than ever for musicians. How do you find being a band in today's music climate?
It's difficult, man. You know, I don't think any band can sit there and think that it's not, you know. I mean, even to the point where you had not long ago musicians of a high caliber coming out and saying that it wasn't fair. I know that Paul Weller recently spoke out about it, of the Spotify streams, how unfair it is to musicians. It's difficult because, I mean, when you look on your, I'll put it this way, this is completely honest. When you look on your Spotify record and it says you've had 2 million streams of that one song, and then you go, if I was in the 90s and they were physical tape sales or physical CD sales, like what would the revenue be? I mean, I'm certainly not in this for money whatsoever. I'm in this for passion, and it's what I do. It's all I know, along with the other lads. But it does make you think, wow, like how much is an artist getting shafted these days due to the streaming platform? However, I mean, we can flip that on its head. I mean, that's a negative outlook that I'd give you there, but we can flip it on its head that music is now more accessible than it's ever been. You know, at the click of a finger, we can listen to anything we possibly want to. It's out there. It's there. You know, and music can be spread far and wide all over the world. I mean, on Spotify, we've got listeners from all over the globe, man. You know, who would have thought that 4 lads from a small town in Winsford in the northwest would have fans from South Africa listening on a daily basis? You know what I mean? That's the beauty of it. That's amazing. Don't get me wrong. And that's what you kind of keeps your heart. You're reaching that many people. But I mean, with physical sales not being as good as they should be and that side of the streaming thing, it does put a bit of a dampener on things. But that's just the way it is, man. And there's no point sitting here and us complaining about it, because them are the cards you've dealt, man. You get on with it, and it is what it is.
At least you're still able to get out on tour. And last year you played 35 shows across Europe in 2 months, including two laps of the UK, gigs supporting the Reytons. So what was that tour like? And do you have any mad stories from the tour that you can talk about?
Oh, I actually don't know if I can talk about any of them, to be honest. Yeah, man, it's just great to get back out there and reach that many people for 2 months just to hit the road and get out there. The tour with the Reytons was amazing. Big shout out to them, lads. If you're not heard them, go check them out. And yeah, it was just great to be brothers back on the road, you know. And our tour came first, so our tour was in September. And just playing night after night and seeing people's faces light up, man, that's what it's all about for me. Never mind the Spotify, never mind the revenue, never mind all that, mate. It's all about seeing people on that front row losing their shit, man, and enjoying themselves. And that's what it's all about. And getting to do that every night and being a part of people's night and making people's week, you know, that's the important thing to me. So it was just a dream come true. It's just a dream come true. We can't wait to get back out. Then obviously in October, we started playing bigger venues on tour with the Reytons. Lots of mad nights out. Everybody knows what happens on a mad night out. I can't really print any stories. I'll let the listener use their imagination what goes on in the world of tours. But it's not what you think, guys. It's not what you think. It's not all champagne, hookers and cocaine. It's really not.
And you're in bed at 10 o'clock with a cup of tea?
That's exactly it, mate. Watching the telly in the travel lodge.
And you're about to do it all again. You're about to head out on tour, UK and European tour in April.
Yeah, man. End of April and then all of March, we're hitting the road again. Just can't wait to get out, man. Just can't wait. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we were meant to do the European dates this month, but they've been moved back to May. So May's going to be a long month. We've got a lot of dates, but we're all over the country, man, and we can't wait to get back out there. And now Oxygen Thief has been released and unleashed to the world. We can't wait to see the reaction, what it's like when we play it. And we played it every now and again on the tour last year. But this tour is going to be mega, man, because people have had time to sit with the first record. There's new music, there's new songs, so it's going to be great, man. I just can't wait to get out there. It's going to be a great time. So if you're listening, go check us out and grab your tickets, and we'll see you at the front.
What goes through your head before you step out on stage?
Do you know what? I don't know, to be honest, mate. It's a weird kind of space that you're in, a weird kind of headspace. Number one rule in our band is that you're not allowed to be levered, you're not allowed to be pissed. That's number one rule. At the end of the day, you're going out there to do your best, and people have paid money to come and see your band, and you've got to deliver. At the end of the day, you can't. There's nothing rock and roll in getting up there and slobbering on stage and messing up and hitting bum notes. That's not rock and roll, man. Rock and roll is getting on that stage and playing the best possible gig you can and blowing people's minds, man. You know what I mean? That's the way we look at it. Don't know if every band looks at it like that, but to us, that's the way forward. So, I mean, we have a few beers before we go on just to relax. I warm up my voice and just chill, man. Just chill. I get a bit of a nervous energy. I'm quite annoying before we go on stage, actually. The other lads, I'll tell you that. I do everyone's head in because I get this hyperactive. It's not even nerves, man. It's just like this hyperactivity I get. I've got ADHD, so before a gig, it's like heightened times 100. So yeah, there's no better feeling, to be honest.
What new bands coming out now are you excited about?
At the moment, what am I listening to? Let me think. Do you know what? You put me on the spot there, and I can't think what I'm listening to that's new at the moment. My favourite recent band is Idols. But I know that we wouldn't really class them as new anymore, would we? They're on like the 5th album. Do you mean new as in like now?
Yeah, anyone coming up? Anyone you've seen while you've been on tour or different venues?
Well, I mean, we toured with the Reytons. They're a great band, man. Great band. Got some great tunes. The album's amazing. There's a band called Deja Vega that are really good. They're from our hometown as well. They're amazing. I'm trying to think what I've been listening to. I actually haven't been listening to much new music at the moment. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm a bit of a sponge and we've been writing a lot at the moment. And if I listen to especially new things, I kind of absorb them and it comes through my writing sometimes. And so when I'm writing music, I kind of stay away from listening to new stuff because it really does come through in a weird way. And I don't even notice. It's only the other lads sometimes that notice. So I kind of stay in my little box. If we're going through a creative period where we're in the studio a few nights a week or I'm writing at home, I kind of stay in my own influential box and listen to the same stuff because I know that I'm not going to veer out there and start writing other songs. You know what I mean? So that, yeah, I hate being put on the spot. You put me on the spot there, Mark.
I'm going to put you on the spot again later on in a few minutes, don't worry. I mean, the band have been going, for quite a long time. As I said, you just put out your debut album, but what have been some of the highlights from your career so far?
Festivals have been great, man. Some of the bigger gigs, that tour with the Reytons is definitely a career highlight as well because we've not really played that size venues yet. I'd like to say yet, we've never played to a sold out Sheffield Academy, like that's, 2,000 people. That's amazing. Definitely releasing the debut record is like a dream come true, I said there was a few niggles that came with that, but still it's a dream come true and it's a massive achievement to go and write those songs and get them down in the studio. We did it at the Pool in London, Moloko Studios, which is just like a dream come true. Beautiful studio. And then just the constant gigging, man, and the growth of fan base. I don't think there's any significant pinpoints that I can go through other than like what I've just said, because being in a band is all about evolution, and things can happen so fast, and kind of you're swept up in this whirlwind of just constantly moving on to the next thing. So sometimes you don't have time to really see what's going on and what's gone, what you've just done, kind of thing. I'm grateful for everything is my answer. There's no highlight as of yet, other than the record. The highlight is that I'm still doing it, man, and that we're still fighting fit, that we're still writing songs that we deem are good, man, and we're still getting out there and selling out gigs. That's the highlight, you know what I mean? The highlight is reaching that many people, having that many Spotify listeners and playing that many gigs and selling them out. That's the highlight.
I like to ask my guests the following questions. Out of all the albums in your collection, who do you have the most records by?
The Beatles, man. I'm a huge Beatles head. I'm slightly obsessed. No, let's not say slightly. I'm obsessed. Yeah, man. So I collect vinyl. So I'm collecting Beatles vinyls at the moment, and I also collect. I'm trying to collect as many Jam vinyls as well. I'm trying to collect Jam 7 inches, but the most I've got is Beatles records. I still haven't got Sgt. Pepper's. I still haven't got Abbey Road. Gutted. But I'm on the hunt for them. I'm on the hunt.
They're essential.
I've got a amazing first edition of Beatles for sale, though, and it's pristine. It's amazing. It's be pride and joy. I love it.
Wow.
It smells beautiful as well. Everyone knows that smell, don't they, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely. Which song or album is your guilty pleasure?
Oh, do you know what? I don't have guilty pleasures, you know. Oh, right, okay.
Okay, well, what song or album would you be embarrassed playing in the car with the window down?
Oh, God, that's an hard one. I tell you what then, Mark, come on, if we're being honest, mate, you've got to tell me yours if I'm telling you mine.
Ross?
Oh, you're straight out the gate with that, mate.
Yeah,
well,
because everybody slags me off about it.
You'll always find me, mate, tapping me foot to a bit of Spandau Ballet, mate.
Yeah, a couple of good songs. Well, quite a few good songs. Through the Barricades. Yeah, brilliant song.
I don't really know if that's a guilty pleasure. All right, then, a guilty pleasure. You'll always see me trying to get the words right to a bit of Take That. I'm not going to lie there.
Well, I'm partial to the odd Take That song myself. not a problem admitting that.
There you go. It's released to the world. I don't mind a bit of Take That. It only takes a minute, girl, to fall in love.
I could definitely. You should cover that for a B-side or something. Well, not that there is B-sides anymore. You know, a bonus track. So, last one. What's next in the immediate future for the Luka State?
Well, we've got the tour coming up in May, April, May, and we're currently still writing for the second record. We've got a good few batch of songs. We're about to go into the studio, hopefully very soon in the next coming months, and release the album really this year. That's what the plan is. We're going to smash that tour out, and I think we're going to just drop singles for now and just release some music. Just keep it ticking over, man. Keep the engine running, and just keep engagement going. Tour as much as we can, reach as many people as possible, and just give people what we do, man, which is catchy rock and roll songs, I guess. So just to keep going, man. Just not stop, not lie down, not rest, really. Just keep ploughing through.
Nice one. Well, I look forward to the new album because I really enjoyed the debut album. It's fantastic. And your previous singles. I really like what you do. And I really appreciate you taking the time out today to have a chat.
No worries, Mark. Thank you very much for having me, mate. I really appreciate it. Nice one.
Not a problem. And good luck with the tour. Hopefully you'll come to Belfast or Ireland at some stage and down the line.
Yeah, it's not released yet. We're hoping to do some Ireland dates. So keep your eyes peeled because we're hoping to get out to you.
Nice one. I will be there.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I love Ireland. I love coming over. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, hope to see you then, Conrad. So listen, mate, have a good day.
Thank you very much, mate. You take care of yourself.
You too, mate. Take it easy.
Lots of love, man. See you later, man.